Hi everybody, Phil from Hybrid Me doing a video that is long overdue. It's to announce that GSPro is version 1 dot blah 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 and is available for subscription purchase for those guys that want to gain access to it. I'm so sorry I'm late doing this video. I was in between houses, in between sims, and just couldn't do a video that would do it justice. It was actually released on the 1st of October, so I'm very late doing this, which is shocking given I believe I was given the world premiere of the first alpha version of GSPro to put on the YouTube channel way back. But why is it exciting? It's because I know the developers wanted it to be the best, most affordable simulation software in the market, and I believe they've absolutely hit the nail on the head. If you head over to GSProGolf.com, the price for GSPro is $250 a year subscription. It's an annual subscription. You can pay extra, which will allow you to have a lifetime option, which means when you cancel your subscription, whatever version you're up to, you can keep for your lifetime. So if you do decide you don't want to keep paying annual charges, that's the way it can be done. However, for $250 a year for what you get, I think you're probably going to want to continue paying that and gaining access to all of the latest features that are being built on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. I played this a week ago in multiplayer with John Mayer and my friend Craig. We hit an issue, reported it, a multiplayer bug. By the morning there was actually an update that had sorted it, which is absolutely fabulous. It shows how responsive the guys are. They're simulator enthusiasts and they're designing software for simulator enthusiasts. They want to support as many launch monitors as possible. They're giving the APIs to allow those launch monitor companies to do so. And I really hope that those companies are out there are listening. Skytrack, note to you guys, how about thinking that pairing up wonderful affordable software with affordable launch monitor is a great combo? So hopefully one day they'll wake up to that. What devices are supported? Well, the Unicore systems, the QED, the IXO, they're supported by GSPro and Unicore. Other systems that you can use with GSPro, I've been using a GC2 for ever since the early days of the beta and will continue to do so. You can head over to Discord, which is an application you can run on your PC and or your phone, tablet, Mac, and it gains you access to channels and servers which will include the GSPro and the simulatorgolftour.com community. That will gain you access to not only the developers of GSPro, but the guys that run the online tour, guys like myself that are sim enthusiasts, and all the guys taking part in the weekly online tournaments over at simulatorgolftour.com. That's where you can ask any questions about certain devices. What other devices have I seen out there? I think I've seen GC Quads working with GSPro. I think I've seen a Garmin R10 recently, which is very interesting. As I say, I had a Garmin R10 a while back, really liked it. Had some things that I felt needed addressing, and I know that there's been updates since I had access to the device. I hope they're all heading in the right direction. The Flight Scope guys, I really hope there'll be some positive news there shortly to show that maybe Flight Scope want to support GSPro with their devices. That would be fabulous as well. Get all the Mevo Plus and the other Flight Scope devices on board. Although they're separate entities, simulatorgolftour.com run the online tours. That means you can play competitions, take part in tours and competitions on a weekly basis, earning world ranking points. There's shorter setup tours for guys like Craig, that is a web tour. There's or guys new to the simulator, maybe guys that don't have a driver and therefore are limited on distance. There's the PGA guys, a whole group of views in that kind of middle range, 6,000-ish yards. Setups, and then there's the Pro Tour, which is where all the best golfers hang out. Obviously I hang out on the Pro Tour right at the bottom of the leaderboard, but you can compete for world ranking points. There's more tournaments, and you can head over to simulatorgolftour.com, and it's $30 for 6 months access to the tour. It's well worth it. And then when you head over to the Discord channel, you can talk about the tour, talk about the software, and the guys are so responsive. If there are features needed, they're adding them. And for $250 a year, what you get is incredible, and it's only at version 1.0.12.42. You know, it's version 1.0. So I'm delighted to be part of that journey and to see where they're heading with the software. Can't remember if I mentioned it, the lifetime thing. I think I did, where if you choose to keep a certain version, you can pay extra on the annual subscription to do so. Without further ado, let's show you. If anyone used the original beta, they may have heard that GSPro is really complicated to install and set up. And back then, it was beta software. You had to create folders, copy things, rename things. Now, it couldn't be easier. Head over to GSPro.golf.com, GSProGolf.com. I paid my money for the subscription, got an email, it gave me a link for downloading the software, it gave me a license key that I copied and pasted into the software, and I was up and running. You have the application that runs, and you have a connector app, which is where I set up my GC2 connections in my case. Once I've connected them both, you get that little green. It turns from red to green in the bottom right corner of the screen. Hopefully you can, I know you can't see the mouse, but right in the bottom corner there's a little green line. That turns red when it's not connected, and it goes green when you are connected, and away you go. If I briefly show you the settings, so what courses can you play? There were various discussions about where the courses come from, these kind of things. All the courses that are accessible within GSPro are designed from the ground up using a course designer. The open source course designer, I believe, is called Open Platform Course Designer. You can head over to GSProGolf.com and get more information on that and gain access to it. So if you'd like to design your own courses in Unity to be played with GSPro, you can do so. And there's a whole community out there that are designing courses or recreations of some of the best courses around the world to work with GSPro. They're using the Open Platform Course Designer and Unity to build some fantastic looking courses. And there's now all kinds of flying objects and sounds, and it's getting more immersive than ever, and I love the work they're doing. There are already lots of great courses like the old course at St Andrews, and I think Winged Foot that was done. There is a course in Georgia which people are always asking about, Georgia Golf Club. East Lakers torn me to pieces many times when I've been competing in FedEx. There's some lovely reflective water at Copperhead. I've always liked playing the kind of deserty sandy course at Scottsdale, and loads on there. There are a couple missing. I mean, my favourite sim course ever is Pebble Beach, work in progress, and I can't wait to gain access to that. There are actually some courses that aren't on here because course designers are making beta versions available and for people to test and use as part of their games. And I should add that overnight I looked on the Discord channel and I think I saw that 3 new courses have been published. You can't be easier to download them than seeing a course you like and just click it, add to library, and it will start downloading it. I'm not going to do it because I've got such limited bandwidth. I don't want to kill anything that I'm going to show shortly. Without further ado, if you go into settings, if you have gone over to simulatorgolftour.com and registered for the tour, you will have had to put your Steam ID in, and if you put that ID into here, that enables you to access the tournament rounds that you've registered for over on SGT, and I'll show that now. You can set the mini-map location, left or right. That's to do with whether you're playing offset. So if you've got a limited space within your simulator and you have to hit off to the side, you may not want that mini-map down on the right-hand side. You might prefer it on the left, so you can set that option here. Hide UI on shot enables you, when you hit a shot, to remove the little tabs that show you all of the distance and offline and vertical launch angle, etc. Just to make it more immersive. I like to see that data, so I haven't ticked that. Hate to say, I don't know what enable distance display is. I should probably have worked that out. There is the ability to use GSPro with a mouse. I can't remember if I read that it's free to do so right now or not. I could have just made that up. But again, head over to GSProGolf.com or the Discord channel and find out more about that. It's not something I've looked into. Enable Gimme Circle. I was only shown that a week ago because I'd been off for a couple of months. It means that you can choose to have a gimme circle, funny enough, around the pin. And it means that when you hit your approaches, if the ball trickles into that gimme circle, it lights up, and if it trickles out, it goes off again. And it just means that you know at the end of your shot, yes, I got a gimme, think about the next hole. It used to be that it's close, am I going to get a gimme? And I like the feature. But again, if you want to get the most immersive experience, yes, you can turn that off, because obviously you wouldn't get that in real life. Altitude, I don't think is in place at the moment, certainly on a course-by-course basis. I don't think it's using the altitude. It would mean that when you set your altitude, of course, you can hit the ball further when you're playing at altitude. I did see some comments in the past where people were saying, I'm taking part in a weekly competition, I need boost because I live at altitude and I hit my ball that much further. Considering they were playing a competition at St Andrews, I thought that was a bit cheeky, wanting to gain an extra like 10% boost on all clubs because they happen to be playing it locally in somewhere at altitude. So anyhow, but that will be added. Similarly, I don't believe wind is in effect at the moment, but all of these things are being worked on and will be added. As I say, we encountered a bug, that multiplayer bug, about a week ago. It was fixed by the next morning to enable us to get on with playing some online tour rounds together, myself, John Mayo and Craig. The fact that's happening, that's wonderful. Without further ado, let me show you what the options are here then. So, practice. There is a driving range, of course there is. And the driving range is exactly that. You can set your target distance, you can choose your clubs, you can export to a spreadsheet, you can see the table of data. And there's a couple of different views. One is the follow cam. Follow cam does exactly that. When you hit your shot, let me hit a shot. This is where I'm about. There's a slider down that left-hand side that I'm dragging down, and I'm going to set it to about. Oh, get rid of that. I wonder if that's what that is. The enable distance display. Is that going to be how far it is I'm hitting? No. Why is the pin thing not showing? Maybe that's just... No, that's because I'm not in there. Anyhow, 150 I've set it to. A little bit fat, that's going to be short. And that's the follow cam. Camera nicely follows it. Hit it fat and I'm there in the green circle. I get accused of always calling bad shots and they turn out better. Anyhow, if you choose to go player, you can set how many shot tracers you'd like to see and set the colour of the tracer. And if I misclicked on the colour, but it doesn't matter. Let me just hit short one so you don't have too much ball flight. There's one, not the most exciting tracer. Maybe get it up in the air and it'll actually work. There we go, you can see it though. That's better, that's the one. That's the one. Get in the hole! I'm not one of those guys that shouts that. That's got to be damn close. Yes! New feature. I've never heard. You get clapped. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to stop the video. No, I'm not going to stop the video now. Awesome. Anyhow, yeah, you get to see that. So then, I love that. Where's the offline one? So offline it wasn't. So you can go into the tabulature of data. You could have selected your club down here and selected what it was I was hitting, which in my case was an 8-iron. You can go and think, that one wasn't very good, that one wasn't very good, and leave the best one. Export it to a spreadsheet and then post it on Golf WRX, where the guys called me out on my R10 video because they said I was all like flippy armsy. I may not even be a golfer. They said, and they can post their 10 best shots out of 100 and say, yeah, I just banged out 10 shots on the range. What do you reckon, guys? You know, that kind of thing. Anyhow, that's awesome. Love that. Practice on course. You can also go out and practice on course. On course practice is exactly that. Select a course, select a hole, place the ball where you want and practice a certain shot. It might be one that you struggle with. It might just mean you get more focused than going on the range. So let me load that course at Georgia. Yes, it's that course. Put myself on the black tees and I'll show you a couple of other features. Stimp, make it a bit faster. Give myself the Sunday pins. And that'll go. Just to explain these two things, HLA correct, that means that when I hit a putt, if I hit it slightly off centre and a low enough speed, because launch monitors can struggle at that shorter, lower speed and shorter putts, it gives you a little bit more forgiveness. So I might hit it 2 degrees right and it might only say it went 0.7 right, for example, in the game, just to give me a little bit of assistance. If I'm playing where I prefer to actually aim my putts right or left rather than in the game, so I like to aim in the game, hit a straight putt. Some people prefer to actually just see that it's a right to left putt and aim it right. You don't want HLA correct on because of course it will adjust it and reduce it to be more of a straight putt. Turn that off. BLI enable is the little flag in the bar that you can drag around showing the contours of the land, and we disable it in certainly the PGA and Pro Tour. I don't know for guys like Craig if it's enabled on the Web Tour. you can select your holes, which ones you want to play at the bottom, all of that stuff. And I'll also talk shortly about the recipes. There is an auto putt. So I should add, as well as all these tours, there's an auto putt tour coming. For those that don't want to do simulator putting, the guys at Simulator Golf Tour will be supporting an auto putt tour. I think putting is a huge part of that experience. Sorry, I just downloaded the course and you'll see, I'll explain all this shortly. Let me just get this nice and bright. I'll explain what all that stuff is. Yeah, some people say they don't like putting, it's artificial. It's a huge part of the experience. If you're going to shoot yourself a 60, shoot a 64, shoot big 70 for the first time, and it's been down to you getting an auto putt of 111, I don't know, it feels a little bit empty. If you've had to stand over every 5-foot putt and aim it left or right and hit it, then I think you get a much more experience. So I do encourage people to try and get used to the putting. It can take a few months, but once you've got it, it's a big part of the experience. On the on-course practice, you can select which holes you want to play. Let me go to the 12th. That's quite an interesting one. People like this one. And yeah, I'll give it a go. I'll give this a go. What have we got? We've got about 154. I could choose to place the golf ball in a different location. There we go. I still don't know why it's not telling me distance to pin. This is going to be something that I have clicked by mistake, and probably it's not that. I thought it'd be that. Enable distance. Anyhow, not a big deal. It might just be that it doesn't do it. 153 yards. On here, the right hand side, you've got the shot display. That enables you to call up the tablature of data. You've got your scorecard. You've got the sim options button after you've hit a shot. Sim drop means if you're deep in the trees, you can choose to place the ball, click sim drop, place it back in the fairway, not nearer the hole. Designed to get you out of those situations where you've reached a bit of land that really you just can't get out of. There will be people, I suggest, that are using it for tournaments because they don't want to hack out the trees. They may as well just place it back in the fairway. I think it should be a 2-shot penalty rather than 1-shot penalty accordingly, but we will see. You can re-hit, you can take a mulligan if those options are allowed, or you can concede and go on to the next hole. But without further ado, let me hit a shot. What did I say it was? 1 through 3, so an 8 iron again, pitch 9-8. I'll either be short and right in that bunker at the front or long and left in the flowers. Long and left, I'm going to go with. Oh, I'll take that, to be honest. But because it's on course practice, it puts me straight back here and I get another go. This is ideal if you want to do a... there's long and left, that's what I mean. A nearest the pin competition with friends, get yourself a blackboard, write them in, just get people banging out shots on certain courses, certain holes that you like. If you don't like the colours or the look of it, I've installed an app called Reshade. It's free, a lot of people use it, and it enables you to add a bit more pop to the image, particularly for projector. I mean, I haven't even got my skylights covered at the moment, so it's very light and washed out. And once you've installed Reshade, set it up for an app, you can go in and add fake HDR to give a bit more contrast. You can make it a little bit sharper. You can add colourfulness to make it a little bit more saturated. It's good for the projector screen. Sometimes it can saturate it on a LED screen or on your computer screen. So if that's the case, it's not a fault of the software. You can set it up exactly how you want it to be. You can also go up here and select the weather icon, which is the same as pressing L on your keyboard, and that brought up the thing where I went into the sky box brightness. That enables me to change the sky. As I say, I re-downloaded the course and forgot to actually reload it in the menu, so that's my fault. It wasn't anything to do with the software. Bunker darken lets you change the colour of the bunkers as you wish. You can decide that actually you'd like it to be more brighter sunlight, less sunlight. As you can see, it's like making a big difference there. The environment colour, like the trees and the areas around the course, do you want it brighter? Do you want it a little bit darker? And the saturation, maybe it's slightly oversaturated, reduce the colour. So all of this can be customised to what you wish it to be, which is a really nice feature. Similarly, you can change the time of day and think, actually, it's getting a bit more gloomy and you've got the shadows coming across the course. Or on other courses, it's a bit more relevant, but I'll show you on St Andrews. You can think, well, actually, we've got some rain kicking in, so you can set the rain on and play how you wish it to be. But all of that is customizable, and set it as you wish. I'll just cancel that for now. As I say, I've done something where the light's a bit more gloomy. Because it's practice mode, again, I could just pick that ball up and place it somewhere. If you place it near bushes, you'll notice, and this has been a bugbear on old software, you'll see many of my streams back to Jack Nicklaus Perfect Golf days where I was complaining about this. It's like you can't see the shot you're trying to hit. If you press B on the keyboard, it will remove the things. I don't know if B is for bushes or what it's for, probably something better than that. And it will move it, and suddenly I can see the shot. And that's where I can use the BLI and see the lie of the land. So I can see that it's sloping down towards me. So, and over here, I can move it around and see all the contours on the green, left to right there. The longer the line is, the further and the more steep the contour. That BLI is not enabled for tour events. And of course, I can still output the data to a spreadsheet if I decide I want to do that at some point. Let me end that. I don't think there's much more. Oh yes, you can set your pins, your stimp, your gimme distance, apart from in tournaments where it's locked down, so everyone's playing the same setup. If you look at the fairway firmness, there's lots of different settings now. There's a soft, a firm, a hard, a links, and a normal, which generally we'll use for a lot of the tour rounds. On the green, again, soft, so the ball won't bounce much. It'll certainly grab quicker. You've got yourself links and hard, where it would be much more bouncing and rolling out. You can customize that, and all of these are being worked on by trusted people in the community to create things called recipes, and you see recipes here. This means there's so many different physics, different attributes, different factors that go into how a ball will react with the surface in terms of the bounce and the friction and the delayed spin and all these kind of things, that all of this will be worked on over time, and it means there could be an infinite number of different recipes and setups for certain courses, certain types of courses like links or a waterlogged course or whatever it may be. So all of this is wonderful, that really it can evolve over time. So if there is something that isn't looking right, it can be addressed without having to require a major release of software, for example. If I exit out and show you the... did I do the tournaments tab? I don't think so. If I've set my thing up and I go into tournaments, then you can see what tournaments I can play. In my case, PGA and Pro. People like Craig say Web Tour as well. If I go into a tournament, those settings are locked down because that's been set over at simulatorgolftour.com. You can see that I can't change any of that. I can change the HLA correct because I may want to putt off to the side rather than straight. I can't turn on BLI because it's just simply not allowed on the greens because it gives you a little bit too much information, it's deemed. But if I want to play online tour event, so if I want to play this with somebody, I can go invite player, create a room name that will be unique. That will take me into a lobby where I'm ready to play. And if the other player that I'm playing with, or players, want to come in, then they can just go to online play, type in that same room name that I've just created, V8, and then they will be able to play the round with me. I can also add people locally if I happen to have other golfers here. If you are playing team events, you do need to make sure that both of you have the same colour and that the people you're playing against have the same colour. That can be one of the issues that people hit when they're trying to get the multiplayer working. And I didn't show you earlier, but you can choose to just play front nine, back nine, or whatever it may be. If I come out of that, and let's go in and just show you a couple of courses. So let me do it in practice mode just because it will enable me to skip holes and things like that. As far as the look and feel goes, so let me load up Scottsdale. I like Scottsdale. Quite a unique looking course. Deserty and lots of cactuses around the place. Don't have the crowd in the grandstand. I think that would probably tax the graphics cards that little bit more. But I really like it. It's a fun track to play, and I think it's 16th, yeah, where you'd have the crowd drinking and giving me a lot of jip as I try and hit that shot. Oh, shall I give it a go? People want to see embarrassments, don't they? Let's go for a big 9. Can I get a 9 up there? I don't think I can. Oh, that's a fatted and left. There we go. Should have stuck with the previous one. To be honest, it was an 8 all day for me. But that's nice. And again, you can just choose which hole you want to play if you're in practice mode. End round. Let's go and load up. What's the one I looked at recently? It was the Highland course at Primland. It was a pretty little course. I haven't got a clue if it's a well-known one, someone's local course. It was just when I looked on Discord and I thought, well, that's quite pretty. I like the fairways, the checkered fairways. Very first time you load a course, it can take a little bit longer to initialise. After that, it tends to be quicker. But I mean, it's not too long, to be honest. Long enough for me to tee the ball up. Attempt to hit driver. More and more of the courses are having little things on them, like, you know, it might be bugs flying around. Where's 4th hole, 5th hole? There we go. Nice elevated tee shots. Let's go for that. Oh, why did I choose to hit driver? It's the worst. Oh, it's going to miss left. And with GSPro, that's rough, but if it's in the deep rough, you really can't advance 3 woods and long irons. You know, you have to take your medicine. That's what separates GSPro from so much of the other software, that you're not going to get away with it. Because it's practice mode, of course, I'm back on the tee and I get to hit another shot. But I could pick the ball up and say, okay, I'm going to place it down there. And now 51 yards. You know, it might be a distance I don't like, so I just want to work on it. Something like this wedge. Thinned it. There it goes. No, I want another go. I was rushing that one just to get it done. Go. You get the idea. Let's load another course. Not going to load all of them. That's not the point of this video. But there are so many courses out there. Oh, let me start a round. So if I was going to actually start a round, play one hole at... let's play one hole at... Whistling Straits. I wouldn't know what hole to play. Let's play the 10th. Don't know if that's a good choice, bad choice. It's just to show you a hole being played. I know that, I think it was Techie that did this one. He had to like carve out bunkers for about 5 years of his life, I think. All right. Nice, like the flags, okay. I've got an IR frame around my 55-inch LED. Someone recommended that instead of buying a touchscreen for ridiculous money, and it means now I've got a 55-inch touchscreen TV, which is really nice. I recommend anybody look into that if you are looking at a touchscreen. Okay, let's play one hole. I'm going to try and pull this left into the deep rough. So you can see what I mean when I talk about deep rough. How is this software different from other software? I'm in the deep rough. 123 to go. If I was using different software, it's 6.9 degrees left at the bottom, it's 6.8 up, so it's going to launch left automatically a little bit. So I lay myself right, and if I was going to hit, I'll take a mulligan on this or come back and re-hit. Other software I'd think, well, okay, 123, 10 yards up, that's about 133. Maybe I'll get a little bit of a penalty, but I'm going to go and hit my 8 iron. Fatted it left, and it didn't even launch. It says 77 carry on the GC2, and it went, if I call up the ball data, 54. So let me think, okay. 70 to go, still in the deep rough. Hit a wedge, and the wedge distance will go properly. Because I'm launching it high with a short enough club, it will actually launch. If I try to hit a 3-wood from the deep rough, it would only go probably about 130 yards carry because it's penalising you accordingly. So that was the worst, but I didn't really explain it too well. Oh no. Oh no. That's the distance thing. Shows it as it's going along. All right, let me putt. Oh, I've ruined this video. Skip on. Almost done. Press G, you get the grid. You probably want that one by default. I'm going to try and push this a tiny bit right, even though I'm on the setting. Go down, go down. It's in the gimme circle, it's lit up. And I'm done, I'm done. Yeah, anyone that wants to check this out, head over to GSprogolf.com. It's early days in it being version 1, but damn is it worth the money right now. Please take part in the tour and the online events. It's brilliant having more and more users. I hope more and more launch monitors come on board. Huge thank you and congratulations to the GSPro developers for what they've put in to actually get to this point. And I'm grateful for having been given early access to it. Apart from messing up that later bit in the video, I can't be bothered to re-record it because I've got to get some pizza in 5 minutes and then walk the dog. Actually 1 minute, I'm late already, I'll be in trouble with the missus. Goodbye, I'll see you next time. If I've messed things up, I will redo this video and then take this one down. But till next time, goodbye. Thank you.